All right. So welcome everybody. Here we are. This is Peace Talk, and the wonderful Kirsten has decided to jump in and do the work today. And we were just speaking off camera or on camera, but before we push record, about like this interesting time in coronavirus world, right? Which is at the time of this, that's what's happening. And I love you said that, what is it? The old, that, how'd you put it? So love in the time of,
love in the time of Corona instead of the novel title of Love in the Age of Cholera.
yes.
Love in the time of Corona. How are we finding it? How are we nurturing it? And how is our ideas of it changing? Which is, I think, where I think we're headed on the paper today, is just how do we hold space for people with so much unknown. That's the overwhelming thought that's creating my suffering currently. Is in my professional life, I take a lot of pride in the idea that I have the capacity to hold loving space for clients when we work together. And I feel like I used to have a confidence around that is currently, the bottom doesn't feel very tangible.
Yeah, it's something about it is shaken a bit.
Yeah. So if someone says I'm struggling living with my partner 24/7 for 3 weeks, it's not like I can say, well, you'll be done. What's the end of the term? No. When is the
Right.
broken leg healed? There's none of that. So
Yeah.
much
I love it.
steady sense of a heightened sense of the unknown, a heightened sense of the scale.
Yes.
And the way that bleaches into impacting the individual experience.
Yeah, I love it. What can be very interesting are these thoughts. I have found this to be true. Thoughts that seem very kind of, the intention is deeply from the heart. It is often non-stressful, like I need to assure that person or I need to help them. And you can even picture like a client or a couple that need the most assurance, like really let it be. Those people are probably okay, but that one, because there are these thoughts that it depends on the situation, but in certain situations.
And I think a big thing that we do is we help people normalize their experience.
Yes.
You're fighting about who's going to unload the dishwasher. That's very normal. A lot of couples fight about that.
Yes.
And now, before that can come out of my mouth, I catch myself thinking, well, are we going to be living like this 24/7 indefinitely, or is there a terminate? And I don't know. And it impacts my capacity. I think it triggers an old core belief of I'm not good enough to be doing this work. The old was I'm not good enough, and it sort of triggers this insecurity, taps into this old river of insecurity.
Yeah.
And if I had to help me here frame a core statement that's triggering the suffering, is it something around, I don't know the answer, I'm frightened, I don't know the answer, I don't have the answer, or it's even there is no answer.
Yeah. It's really good to notice there's no answer, but I love where you're going with it. Is where's my proof? Where's my proof? How do I know I'm not good enough? Or like even have that thought begins to come back and percolate and arise. How do I know it? Well, I'm sitting in the presence of people that I work with. And this is even my job and my work. And I can't assure them. I don't feel that solid ground. There's my proof, and there might be multiple. I mean, sometimes people find this thought. How many times have I, worked with this with people and noticed it myself. It's like, oh, where do I begin? Says the mind. How I can tell you how you're not good enough. Where should we start? And what age? And it's got a giant list.
Or the end of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I think it's very, very, very helpful to land on one place that you really, yep, I have the thought, it comes in, and I'm looking at this other person. So it's in the presence, I'm in this conversation I'm having with reality. I don't feel good enough. And what's happening over there? There's a person who's very upset, or I can't assure them. There they are. So.
And I'm upset too.
Yes.
Landed on it perfectly. Here's this person, they're very upset about something that I'm very upset about too. We're at a meeting point in the upsetness.
Yes.
Previous to Corona, I'm old enough and I've been through enough of my own trauma and worked through it that I could sit with so many clients and see them from that beautiful distance and nod and hold space and be very comforting, but not feel overwhelmed with it myself. Now in our work, it's like we're both newborn babies. The client's a newborn baby to this experience, as am I. And that is a new, I haven't felt that in a while. I haven't felt as vulnerable as my clients in a while. I've had sort of, what is that? Is that the professional distance or some sort of an illusion that they're the same, but I'm able to be distanced from them in a sense, and the distance is gone.
Yeah. Oh, good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful catch on, like, just a beautiful description of the situation. There it is. And I love how in there there's like we're just able to remember and see. I know what it was like when I didn't feel that. It was before, and then the virus came, and now yeah, before and after virus. All right.
So is that the investigation? Is the question, the thought that I need that space, that I need professional distance to be okay? Is that the thought? That's
exactly.
I need to not be upset. That's definitely a belief, right? If I'm doing good work, I can't be upset.
Yeah. Which is good. Any of this is helpful. Any of it's good to question. I need the distance. I need to not be engaged quite at this particular way. I need to not be upset. I think that is the inquiry. I was just going to ask you, what are your thoughts that arise there? Like noticing these two experiences before and after this virus thing is happening. There you are in the presence of people engaged with you because.
Yeah, so it's like, number one, I'm pissed off with coronavirus because it's causing me to lose my grounding in my professional identity. Like I thought I knew who I was in my professional identity, and this virus is causing me to feel unmoored, unanchored.
And I love that we found a culprit. Virus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bug, right? There's even an emoji for it now. It's that nasty green speck that looks like snot.
There you go. There it is. Okay.
All right. So, all right, I've wrapped my head around. So, I am pissed off with Corona because it's caused me to lose my mooring.
Yes. Okay. So beautiful. It's caused me to lose my mooring, and you got your situation. There you are with a client, and you don't feel the solid ground that you used to sit on emotionally with this. So just, exactly what losing your mooring feels like. You're in that situation. All right. So the virus is causing you to lose your mooring. Is it true?
Yeah.
So I love we get two questions. Can you absolutely know, with no shadow of a doubt, the virus is causing you to lose your mooring?
No, 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 not absolutely.
It's that beautiful, isn't it that beautiful question? Conditions cause me to lose my mooring. Can I absolutely know? Seems like it, but can I
Yeah.
absolutely know that?
It, when I'm moving, it feels like it,
Yeah.
certainly. And then when I sit still and listen and hear how many thoughts are pouring and how many, the other thing that's going on is triggering so many memories and so many connections to grief. It's
Oh,
this tidal wave of grief
wow.
past, and that's not the coronavirus, that's past.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
So in the thought coronavirus is messing up my mooring,
Mm-hmm.
feel incapable. I feel inefficient. I feel exhausted. Like after every client, I literally want to just lie down on the floor. I'm so wiped out.
Yeah.
I have no staying power.
Mm,
There's no, I cannot do 7 clients a day. I'm doing like 3 and I'm crawling out of each one.
mm,
Um, so energetically, that boundarylessness is sapping my energy. And that's connected to why I'm feeling um, unmoored.
mm. Okay. As you
Um,
as you see images about like where this is going or those past images, what comes up, virus is causing me to lose my mooring. My mooring's lost. Just see where you're sitting with the presence of people, but what other images come in? You mentioned they began to happen when you believe that thought.
it's happening. The virus is happening to me, and then it's like a big wave, and it's shoving me into being a victim too. Even
Mm,
though I know I'm not, I know rationally I'm not. I'm not suffering. I'm fine. Uh, but my thinking is making it feel like I'm part of the crisis.
mm,
And so, and normally that distance that I feel grounds me in recognizing, okay, this is happening. This couple is splitting up. This woman has a lot of anxiety. Let's run through the checklist. Let's listen. Let's ask questions. Let's do the work.
mm-hmm.
But there's a separation. And now, since we've all been in quarantine, it's hard to have that separation anymore. It feels like we're all in it. We are all in it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're all coping.
Yeah. So notice the feeling in the body, exhaustion, anything else. Virus is causing me to lose my mooring.
Yeah, tingling sensation in the extremities. So like from the shoulders to the fingers, just like the energy is evaporating, running away, leaving my body. Just you can feel it pouring out of my arms.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
yeah,
And more about you, like how do you treat yourself? Sort of started there, but how do you see yourself? The virus is, making me lose my mooring. Who are
so
you?
I see myself as less than, less of a healer, less loving. I I'm crankier. you
Mhm.
know, and I'm doing things like getting stuck in some really dark thinking.
Mm.
I think it's very existential what's going on, right? So you kind of
Mhm.
recognize
Yes.
how much closer our own fragile lives are to our own death, which again, I like to believe, walk through the world being very aware of that fact. But to be honest, in my normal life, I don't think very often.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
about it 50 or 60 times a day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
That's a different way of being in my skin than I'm accustomed to.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Okay.
So, in the thought, the coronavirus has caused me to lose my mooring. I'm I'm beating myself up,
Mm.
and I'm pushing myself closer to feeling dead. Like it just feels so close.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, you know, just noticing often under the surface of that tension or fear, something like
Oh, yeah.
grief, you know.
Huge grief.
And
Huge.
not enoughness.
Yeah. They're connected, aren't they? They're like first cousins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I certainly know you're not alone based on what I've at least encountered from people speaking to it and watching the images about death comes in much more close. What is death? Is death coming? Death is happening. It's close. You know, I want to go back to when I didn't think about that. You know, like 50 times a day, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And and there's a sweetness in that awareness. I also know that to be true.
Hmm.
There's a sweetness in that waking up to I am a person who's aware and appreciative of the fact that this is a gift, this day, this sunshine, this non-presence of illness in my body in this moment, even as many of my brothers and sisters are. You know, that's the
Yeah,
maybe that's what's filled in what used to be a sort of a space of a protective space is this feeling of you cannot be a conscious human being right now and not feel the weight of the suffering of so many. I mean, it's just
hmm. Hmm.
tractor trailers with body bags in it. I mean, that is a heavy image,
Mm. Yeah.
you know.
And I love that. That's powerful. That some of these images are just images I've seen. You know, I mean, I see them, or I hear the video from Italy, or I watch the thing from China, or somebody sends me something. It's like some of this is get this little communication, and this whole image arises in the mind. It's incredible, actually. Creativity of the mind. You can even hear something and see the image instantly. You didn't
Yeah,
actually see a picture, but somebody told you, or it's in a news article. So it's close. So it's what's the reality? Things are coming. There's more. There's more.
it's
Yeah,
the the macroness of it, the
yeah,
magnitude of it, the numbers, the charts, the images, and then the stacking. Every sense is assaulted with this reality that so many people are swimming through
hmm,
a time when we don't know because we haven't had it before.
yeah,
You can't look up the answer and reassure
yeah.
a
Right.
child or a friend or a client. You can listen and you can absolutely have empathy out, but there's no tidy box. There's so much ambiguity. And that vulnerability feels, maybe that pulls us back around to that feeling of, is that what it is to be so close to death, right? You don't know about your death until you're at your death, and then you know.
Mm,
And it's a mystery.
mm, mm.
There's a parallel here somehow in terms of, we
Yeah.
heard about viruses and pandemics in
Yeah.
the abstract, and then now it's here.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
it.
So, so beautiful. So just to keep it simple, go back to the clients. We're in the situation, even though I love how watching where it expands with the thought, this is making me lose my mooring. Okay. In the situation where that feeling was that you said, my mooring's lost. I know it. It's not here. Who would you be without the story? The virus is making me lose my mooring.
Oh, it's such a powerful time for me to connect, communicate, listen, listen to my friends, to my family, to my clients, to ask questions, because I'm privileged enough to know the work and to be able to facilitate the work. I mean, and I'm not afraid of Zoom, and I love to hear people's voices on the phone and can feel very close connection to them. The transition of being in a formal office versus all of the new ways that we're meeting have been, and ironically, I mean, I was kind of moving that way in my practice anyway. So without the thought that I'm not enough and that I'm losing my mooring, I'm just, back to the water imagery, I'm the wave that can be that negative ion, right? That feeling that you get after you've walked on the beach and you're just like, oh, I had a good breath, and today I feel great. And even as I don't know, I am, and I am okay on this call with Grace, something I've imagined so many times, and now here it is, even as we are navigating a pandemic. Both are true. I really wipe myself out with the thought, I cut myself off from being what I am, which is a healing force. And it's it needs healing.
Yeah. It's sweet to have a completely don't know mind. I don't know. Maybe death is coming. I even love your description about the death that's out there, that's there anyway.
Yeah.
Every day, if we all got reports about how many people died, not to diminish this virus thing, but yeah, just that it's so temporary and we don't know when we're going to meet this thing called death. We just know that we are.
Right. As I would say, it's not, we don't know. No, we'll each
Yeah.
know that in our minds, and we resist floating very close to that knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One of our habits is to kind of dodge
Yeah.
that thought, and
Yeah.
this is the time when there's no dodging it. I do notice that with that knowing, there's again that parallel with nature. Okay, so just like every natural being, my lifespan has a circle. I had a birthday and I'll have a death day, and in between all these other wonderful things. And everywhere you look in nature, you can get confirmation of that and reassurance of the beauty of that, and that's what is, and that you can really sink into that and be very comforted by that association.
Yeah.
Knowing that I am going to die is no different than looking at a tree or a bird or a fish and saying, just like that, I'm just like them. I'm
Mm,
no different. And that's a comforting thought.
yeah. Even a virus. Isn't that funny? Even the virus. So, in the presence of these other people who you get to sit with, without that belief, come back there again and get the feeling in your body without the thought, it's making me lose my mooring and that means I'm not enough. Just being with them, see what it feels like in your body without the thought and still noticing.
Yeah, it feels really sweet and way less heavy and also way more honest,
Mm.
right? Like this idea that I'm the expert and you're coming to me to learn communication skills for you. I mean,
Uh,
that story and just notice I'm a human being. I'm going to die. You're going to die. But today,
mhm.
um, we can ride this wave. We can share space. We can listen. That beautiful gift of listening. We can show up. And if we can't do it in a room, that's okay. We can do it over Zoom. Like I love that there's this sort of um,
Mm.
yeah, drop the story and just notice I don't have to be anything more than a human being who shows up uh, when they say they're going to show up. That's,
Wow. Yeah.
that's yeah, like you did.
It's amazing. It's like, yeah.
Like you did. Yeah.
Let's turn it around. I hear you finding some turnarounds already. And it's so the virus is making me lose my moorings.
Mm-hmm.
You could
The
say,
virus is reassuring me. So the opposite of losing my mooring would be solidifying my identity, solidifying my knowing of who I am, of stepping into uh, my role, my personal gift that I want to share with the world,
"Hmm,
which is this work that I circumventedly have found my way to after doing lots of other things. So, yeah, just breathe into that and let it be what it is without telling myself the story of I'm not enough or I can't do it well or I've been undone or knocked down. I'm right here.
yeah,
You're, you know,
yes,
all is well.
yeah,
So instead of the virus has caused me to lose my mooring, the virus has reminded me to share my gifts
mm,
with my clients, with my family, with myself.
mm,
The virus has reminded me reminded me to do my work. Losing your mooring. I can hear Katie Byron right now saying, "Do your work. Do a worksheet."
yeah,
Stuff that's making you, yeah, question that thought. Is it true? So, for example, you know, to come up with an authentic example to support that turnaround,
mhm,
I'm I'm meeting with about 15 clients a week,
mhm,
and uh, yeah, despite the fact that we're doing social isolating and there's no office hours anymore, I'm
uh-huh,
seeing clients, so that's beautiful. And many of those sessions are, you know, they're just as they should be. I show up.
beautiful, yeah,
Period. Breathe. Listen. Right. More emphasis on listening. I
Hmm.
think that's the big turnaround.
Yeah. It's
Listening is
yeah.
have to be an answer.
Yeah. You know, I love that about the work itself is I'm listening to my own mind, chatter, like either with fear or grief or sadness, or or actually slow down and just do, it's saying whatever it's saying, and I can even listen to that thing, I can listen to it. It's like I'm with a nervous client. Here's a nervous client right here. And then something in me can be with that with no answer. I mean, like I say this a lot, but I like, how does my hand feel about the situation or my feet?
Or, I can hear Byron Katie saying the not knowing mind.
Yes.
So instead of I'm losing my mooring, I'm gaining my not knowing mind.
Yeah.
I can honor that. I can honor that.
I love the turnaround. The virus is causing me to lose my mooring, lose my unmoored thinking.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Like my unmoored thinking about death. It's very unmoored, isn't it? When we don't know about something that seems like it might be dangerous. I heard somebody saying, well, death just takes away. It just takes away. That's what it does. And I thought, can we absolutely know that's true? That's a very interesting question. Yeah.
My unmoored thinking.
Hmm.
That's I mean, I love that word unmoored
Yeah.
in connection with thinking because it carries you off
Yeah.
away in antithesis of what you're trying to do, which is hold space and be a good listener, be a good companion, be present, be in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're speaking and they're talking, and you don't have really assurance, with the client here. And you watch the pictures of them telling you something, and then you see it, and it's like beautiful. Is there an opportunity? I get to sit here with that kind of noticing how fast believing happens, that it's just the nature of something in the mind. And I like knowing that. I like watching it. I mean, could almost even do the turnaround, Yahoo, which doesn't always fit in the work depending on what we're doing, but yay, the virus is making me lose my mooring. Like I've been tied to the dock and I haven't been looking at death, or the temporariness of this, or that there's always a little question mark or a big one every single day.
Well, and to just keep going with our sailor metaphors, you know, Odysseus had to leave the dock, right? He didn't have that learning and those experiences by staying tied up.
Or yeah,
You
yeah,
on board. You have to be willing, and that isn't that the sixth.
yes. I am willing and I look forward to this happening.
To I look forward to Corona inviting me to become unmoored,
Mm-hmm.
causing my unmooredness. I I look forward to Corona making me lose my unmoored thinking.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes.
I definitely look forward to continuing to be an energy of love and healing in a time that needs it and include myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm joining in, right? A part of it all.
Yeah.
I love it's interesting the turnaround to the other. It's like the coronavirus is making me lose my unmoored thinking, you know, and you're finding beautifully, my own thinking is making me lose this unmoored place, lose my moor. um, but could I be, how interesting to turn that around that way. I'm making the coronavirus lose its unmoored thinking, or its unmoored, just lose its mooring. There we
Yep.
go.
Grip over people's thinking or heart capacity to be in what is and be okay with it.
Amazing. It's amazing to find that example. Yeah. I love that. You know, the idea of just watching, or our thoughts make us very like small and ineffective somehow, and needing to plan, or just or be disappointed, you know. And it's kind of like, you know, and then the coronavirus is really big up here, and we're down here. It's like, what if the energy was switched, and just could that be just as true? No, it's
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there are examples of that currently with first responders, for example, right?
mm,
People are saying, okay, this is real. I'm a scientist. I acknowledge this exists, and I'm coming when you call. I'm coming when the siren goes off, because that's what I do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really amazing. Long ago, sitting with Byron Katie, doing the work with a man on his cancer, which, as I understood, was fairly advanced. So you could kind of question any of that. But I love that she said, cancer has a right to life, you know, in there, because it was good for later. I did the work. I had cancer, and it was just noticing who I am without the thought. There's a fight here. There's a fight. It's just everyone gets to be however they are. And how do I know it's the wrong thing? It's only the wrong thing if I think I should live and not it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean I don't, like, you know, that there isn't a joy of life, just joy of life. I hope I get to be here as long as possible. It's awesome. And the day will come when it's done. And that's okay too.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's a much more peaceful thought to think about the virus or a cancer diagnosis as there, as opposed to an attack or something that's coming raining down onto me that I
Yeah.
have to extend all this energy to defend against. I think that's where a lot of the exhaustion comes in, is this feeling that I ought to be dot 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 dot
Yes. Yes.
from. And then if you get it, or if you get the cancer diagnosis, it's happened to you. That's such a helpless feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely right under the surface is it shouldn't be.
Yes.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
What is now shouldn't be happening,
Yeah.
but it is.
Yes.
Here we are.
I just love that. It shouldn't be, because I'm so scared of where it's going. You know, usually in the moment, it's fine. It always is. It really is okay. But it says, but the mind will say, but you can't let this keep happening now, because it's going to be worse later on. And
Mm.
so what an amazing, I'm willing to, and I look forward to not knowing, you know, like just as you were finding already, beautiful, being unmoored. Could that be okay? Could there be a benefit? Yeah, just watching. And it doesn't mean that's the end all either. I still might do, sometimes people will think, well, if I do that, I'll just be very passive and won't try, or there's no understanding, or who cares about washing your hands, or, you know, it's not that. It's like staying close. Yeah, staying very close to it.
And it's washing my hands and noticing that they're clean
Mm.
and thanking my hands for all the things that they do in this moment, as opposed to immediately rushing into, and this means, and that means, and it has to, and it leads to this, and compulsive is again what hooks us in and gets us bogged down in that fear,
Mm.
as opposed to slowing down and noticing
Mm.
you came on time, I came on time, we're here. And I don't know how you're feeling, but I feel a lot better.
Beautiful. And I love what you just described. It's like being moored, instead of scampering off into fear, there's a mooring. You just gave examples for it hasn't actually totally unmoored me. I mean, it all depends on how you're looking at it. Yes. Beautiful. It's beautiful work.
Ah, such a gift.
Yeah.
Such a
Thank
gift.
thank you. Thank you for being you.
And if you can, and thank you for what you do for the world and all of the people that you're connected to, and for that beautiful ripple heading out into the universe at a time when we really need it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And yeah, I love it's all for me. Oh.